Hello beautiful, thank you for watching my video. This week I'm continuing work on the tulip purse I started last week. As a reminder, this is where I left off in the last video. If you'd like to see that video, it will be linked in the description. At this point, the building of the purse is getting repetitive. The only variation is the color of the tulips. I added a row of purple flowers, followed by attaching a band of white. I struggled with what color to choose for the last row, but ultimately decided to use yellow. Yellow isn't a color that appears in my wardrobe a lot, so I felt like I should use it to add a pop of it. With the last row of tulips completed, I added the last white band. With the main body of the purse almost completed, I wanted to get an idea of what it would look like. It's at this point that I know for a fact I have made it too big. But truth be told, I have actually frogged this a few times by now. One time y'all already know about. One time I realized a white band was put on backwards, and I frogged back to that row and redid it. Another time I wasn't happy about something, I don't remember what. I'm not frogging it again. In retrospect, I realized that I should have constructed the purse differently, like this. Please excuse my crude drawing. I began working on the bottom panel. According to my measurements, it should be 12 by 8. However, I am just about out of white yarn, and I end up running out. It is Saturday. I'm not a fan of Walmart. I'm definitely not a fan of Walmart on the weekends. To make it even worse, my local Walmart has recently undergone renovations, and there is no greater betrayal as an adult as when your local store gets rearranged. So this will have to wait until Monday. After a trip to Walmart on Monday, I have more yarn. I also looked at the selection of jewelry and bead findings and was less than impressed. I even wandered over to the hardware section to see if I could find something suitable there, but didn't. I've been considering how to replicate the handles. I thought about crocheting around cord, but I'm not sure how to attach it to the bag. Since it's an AI image and I'm new to purse making, I have no idea if this is an actually feasible way to make handles. If anyone has any ideas, I would love to hear them. I don't have a lot of experience with purse construction, but I do want to change that. I've never been big on having lots of purses, and I don't care about designer bags. Most of my purses come from TJ Maxx or Walmart. My everyday purse is a messenger bag that I've had for 5 years. When it breaks or rips, I repair it. I do have a few purses for evening or formal events or when I need something professional looking. But the downside to using cheap purses is that they don't hold up well, and materials like faux leather tend to break down over time. So my goal is to make my own purses that can at least hold up better than the cheap ones. With the bottom completed, I pin it to the bag to make sure it will fit before I start sewing. Thank goodness I took this step because, as it turns out, I made it too small. I measured the bag wrong. I remeasured, and as it turns out, I was off by 4 inches. Instead of the bottom piece being 12 by 8, it should be 14 by 8. I add on to the bottom piece until it measures 14 inches long. After pinning it again, it does fit appropriately. I used white yarn to attach the two pieces together and then reinforced it by sewing around the edges. With the outer shell mostly finished, I decided to work on the lining. I want to make the lining the way I should have constructed the purse, but I'm not familiar with this, so I decided to practice on newspaper first. Once I feel like I've got it down, I hash out the rest of the measurements. The long sides are 14 across, and the entire length is 29 inches. With seam allowance, I figure I will need a piece of fabric measuring 30 inches by 15 inches. I picked up this white fabric from Walmart. I pre-washed and ironed it prior to cutting it. I cut a piece measuring 30 inches by 15 inches and then cut out the pieces for the bottom. I sewed up one side and realized it didn't look right. I thought I sewed the wrong side, so I seam ripped it. However, after looking at the fabric, I realized something is still not right with how I cut it. I thought I cut a piece that was 30 by 30 inches, so I cut it down to the appropriate measurements and sewed up the sides, but then realized that isn't right either. The powers that be may have blessed me with many gifts, but the ability to do math is not one of them. By this point, I've been working on the purse for a few hours and it's just about dinner time, so I'm ready to take a break from it for the day. I'll revisit it with fresh eyes the following day. All I can say is thank goodness I bought 2 yards of fabric. This is where the project is currently at. Next, I'll work on sorting out the lining as well as the handles and the embellishments. If you have any suggestions on the construction of those items, please comment. As always, thank you so much for your support. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, stay crafty.